How do you react when your wife throws you away, like you never mattered in the first place? That's exactly how Emily did it. No shaking voice, no guilt, no hesitation. She just stood there in our kitchen and told me she was leaving me for another man, like she was announcing the weather. My glass didn't slip. My pulse didn't spike. I didn't even blink. Because when you've been feeling a storm building for months, you don't panic when the lightning finally hits. So I smiled, calm, controlled. Perfect. Check your bank account. At first, she smirked, like I was trying to be dramatic. She lifted her phone lazily, scrolling, still acting. But then her face changed confusion, disbelief, and finally that deep, breathless panic people get when they realize they've lost more than they thought they could. She didn't understand yet, but I did. It all started 2 months earlier. She was in the shower, steam pouring out, music humming. Her phone lit up on the counter with a message. Same table tonight. One line, one stranger's name, and the kind of casual phrasing people use only when the affair is well practiced. She came out wrapped in a towel, humming like nothing mattered. The phone vanished from the counter in a split second. She scanned my face, searching for signs I'd seen something. I pretended I hadn't, because denial tastes sweeter than truth when you still want to believe your marriage is intact. But denial cracks fast. Suddenly, Emily had late meetings that didn't exist. New perfume only her clothes smelled like. Tight dresses for errands. Smiles she hid behind the phone. And then, one night, she came home with her hair messy in a way no wind could cause, smelling like whiskey and applause. I asked where she'd been. You wouldn't understand. That was the moment something cold settled inside me. I didn't confront her. I didn't yell. I didn't demand explanations. That's what amateurs do. I observed. I documented. I planned. I tracked our spending, quietly redirected our joint account into a separate holding she didn't know existed. I visited her workplace, had harmless chats with HR that set the stage for removing her access later. Nobody questioned me. Nobody suspected the purpose. Then one Thursday, I followed her. She drove across town and walked into a nightclub I'd never heard her mention. People greeted her like a celebrity, and then I saw him, a massive guy with a designer watch, kiss her hand like she belonged to him. She laughed loud, reckless, glowing with the confidence of someone sure she'd never get caught. I didn't walk in. I didn't need to. I called a contact who owed me a favor, and 3 weeks later, I had everything. Messages, call logs, transfers, hotel bookings, time-stamped photos. Her whole double life laid out in black and white. I printed it pages thick enough to feel like weight, like consequence. I slid them into an envelope and waited. When she came home late again, coat still holding someone else's cologne, I placed the envelope on the table. "What's this?" I didn't answer. She opened it. Her eyes scanned fast, then slowed. Her mouth opened but produced nothing. Pages slipped from her hands. Finally, she whispered, "You've been spying on me?" I shook my head. "No, I've been watching you." She thought the envelope was the blow. It wasn't. The real hit landed the next morning. She drove to work, tried to badge in. Red light. Again. Red. Her email access gone. Her benefits cut. HR had finalized what my earlier conversations had quietly set in motion. By noon, the account she believed was ours was empty. By evening, the nightclub crowd that once greeted her with praise whispered with pity. She came home shaking, mascara smudged. She stood in the doorway and broke. "How could you do this to me?" I didn't raise my voice. "You left me long before today. I just made sure you had nothing to take with you." She stepped back like I'd hit her, but I hadn't touched her. That's the thing about precision: when the blade is sharp, it barely needs pressure. That night, the house was silent. No suitcase rolling, no slamming doors, just the sound of a life finally telling the truth. I sat alone at the table. No sense of victory, no thrill, just clarity. The air felt lighter, honest. Emily will survive. People like her always do. But she will never forget the moment the spotlight went out and no one was clapping anymore. As for me, I'm not healed, I'm not happy, but I'm free.